What's happening, Chupacabra Offroad, and today we're talking lighting. We just got our razors done, Andrew and I, and we just got our new light set up and had our first real time of night riding out in Glamis at Camp Razor a couple weeks ago. And really liked how they worked, but we wanted to go shoot a real video of night riding and then show you guys some of the differences of our lighting setups, what we used and why. And then also just give you a better idea if you've got a new side-by-side, if you're thinking about adding more lighting, you're in the Southwest and you're always fighting dust. What's the best setup, how you want to spend your money to get the most bang for your buck. We reached out to Baja Designs and they really hooked us up with a lot of their lighting products. So we loaded up the trailer again and we headed out to Superstition OHV area just to ride in a different environment, and it's got a lot of stuff you can find in the Southwest. A little bit of dunes, some twisty tight washes, a lot of dust, fast whoops, and pretty much everything in between. So it was a really good environment for us to go and just see how the vehicles worked, and made sure that we could go drive those whoops at night about as fast as we wanted, to see how they worked when we were following each other with a lot of dust in the air, and just see, you know, which of our setups we preferred for what reasons, and share that information with you guys so that you can make a better buying decision. I've owned a lot of different light brands in the past, Vision X, some cheap stuff off Amazon, and Rigid. And this is my first time owning Baja Designs lights. So far I've been really impressed just with how bright they are, and you get your money's worth, let's put it that way. So Baja Designs lights are definitely regarded as some of, if not the best lighting options for us off-roaders. And these lights are definitely not cheap, but if you start to do a little bit of research, you start to see that some of the quality and the thoughtful engineering that they use is what makes them pretty much the best lights you can get. So couple things, they use copper on their circuit boards instead of aluminum. And the benefit of that is that dissipates heat 60% quicker than aluminum, which is what most of the competitors use. And for that reason, they can run their LED lights at about 100% versus a lot of the competitors can only run their LEDs at 70%. One other technology that they have is a battery management technology. And what that does is it reduces flicker at low voltage, and it also protects the electrical system on your side-by-side, which is really important as we side-by-side enthusiasts keep adding more accessories to our rigs. We definitely run into some constraints with our power system from our stators and hit some limitations, and we need to be thoughtful about that if we're running all of our accessories at once. So Andrew and I are both running the Turbo S Dynamics, which comes stock with the 900 watt stator, which to my knowledge is the biggest stator stock of any side-by-side. So we're pretty good off there, where some other side-by-sides you've got some real constraints where you need to immediately think about a dual battery kit. But also our vehicle does draw a little bit extra because of the electronically managed suspension system. So like I said, a 900 watt stator, and just for a point of reference, the Onyx 6 40-inch dual control light bar that I'm running on my Razor is pulling about 340 watts when it's all the way on high with all the lights on. So definitely need to be thoughtful when you're thinking about adding lighting, adding accessories, and making sure your electrical system can push everything. Speaking of lighting information, Baja Designs website's got a lot of great information as well, and they break down a lot of lighting into different zones. So you're gonna see some lights that are titled as Racer Edition, and those type of lights are designed to throw out a beam very far out, which is, you know, from a lot of research, what they've learned from their years of racing in Baja, on 2 wheels, on 4 wheels, off-road vehicles, trophy trucks and whatnot. And for instance, that's what Andrew's got on his light bar up top based on how he chose his complete arrangement of lights. But there's a lot that you can learn if you're trying to just add more lighting and thinking about having, you know, some ambers for when it's in the dust, having some lights that are going to shoot out really far when you're going fast, as well as having a nice flood or a nice breadth of light. Let's say you're duning and you want more of a peripheral coverage. So if you guys have been following the YouTube channel, we've done a 2-part series so far on the builds of our ChupTurboTwins razors. And in part 2, we both kind of did a walk around and talked about our different lighting setups. So here's a quick little breakdown of both of the lighting setups on Andrew and mine Turbo S Dynamics. So moving on to the front of Andrew's car, I don't think there's going to be many people out in the desert that are going to be brighter than this car. Not the looks, but the lights are abundant. So Andrew, lighting everywhere, talk us through your setup.
So pretty much, as you can see on both cars, we went with the OEM replacement with Baja Designs. We think by far Baja Designs is probably one of the best lights out on the market that you can buy. Nick has ran different brands, from Polaris brand to the actual Rigid brand. He's going to be able to check these out tonight while we do a little bit of night riding. But we use the Pro Kit. It comes with 4 Squadron Pros, 4,900 lumens a piece. So that gives you almost 20,000 lumens up in the front. That's just OEM headlight replacement.
Goes right into the stock wiring. You don't have to any other mounting mechanism. Clean and simple install.
So going down to the front bumper, Nick opted not to run a front bumper. I ran with 3 Baja XL 80s, which are the Pro model. The Pros are 4,900 lumens as well. So I got another 15,000 lumens on the bottom here. I run with a single dust cover in the front, just so people can see me coming in the dust, and it really cuts through the dust when you're high speeds. Going up to the top, I decided to mount my 30-inch Racer Edition light bar up on the roof rack, compared to Nick's on his actual cage. We wanted to do some different testing, different light setups, and see what we like better. You know, give you guys more of a real review on them and why we mounted them here, what's better, what works the best, especially for different night riding. If you're riding in the dust, or if you lead rides and you need something to be shooting out a mile away, you have it. So that's why I went with the Racer 30-inch light bar up on the roof rack. Moving along, rear wings. You'll see a lot of differences between the rear wings with Nick's car and my car. I went with 4 S2 Pros. S2 Pros here. As you can see, I went with the blue and an amber. They're really bright. Madigan's little signature was I put a rear brake light in it. But you're pretty much going to be as bright as you can get out in the back. A lot of people riding in Glamis this past weekend were telling me to turn it off because it was too bright. I don't know if it's a good thing, but I know in the dust, you want to be able to see somebody coming up in the dust.
Yeah, I mean, at Glamis, it was crazy how bright these S2s are, and they're amazing. I followed a guy like on the Arizona Peace Trail with 6-8 guys, ton of hanging dust with no breeze. I've never seen anything brighter for rear. So I went with Baja Designs light bar with the blinkers. I'm in Arizona. I wanted to have blinkers. I've also got a work light and I've got my brake light. So really like my setup. I don't think my my blinkers, my ambers are near as bright as Andrew's, but bright enough to be seen on big dusty group rides, and set up for Arizona living. So moving on to the front of my car, a little bit less light, and I got the same, like I said, headlight kit. Love how easy the install was. I like how Baja D includes a 20 amp fuse. I've ran these with Rigid and with MB Corp Polaris brand and blown a fuse on both of them. So nice extra connectors, top quality with everything, and so far really, really good. I think I could probably even do a night ride with just these. We rode in a pack all weekend, so if you guys doing a lot, you know, and you're in a pack, it helps with everyone's light. I ran sweep a lot as well, so running sweep, I love having the windshield, and then I love having the dual control 40-inch. I opted to mount mine not onto the roof rack, but tabbed onto the cage. So I was playing with these settings a lot. I can't believe how bright it is in just the amber position. My buddy had one of these light bars I got to ride in his car a couple of years ago, and I absolutely loved how it performed. And you know, I want to be seen during the day, so I'm pretty much running the ambers front and back all day, and I think on group rides that's going to work really well. But of course I got a lot of extra light when I need it. I like the light bar up top for the peripheral when I'm duning. I'm known for leading dune rides and driving around in circles, even with my GPS. So when I'm trying to figure out where I'm going, you know, this helps me. But I do know a lot of guys prefer down low, like a typical car or truck has fog lights, keeps out of the dust better. But so far, really impressed with how the amber cut through, and we're gonna go check them out tonight. So we hope those clips are valuable. If you're adding some more light to the front of your side-by-side, what to think about, if you want to add them up high or low. In my opinion, really, you're buying a peace of mind. You want to buy some lights that are gonna keep you safe when you're going on night rides. They're a ton of fun, and you want to be able to know that you can drive pretty much as fast as you want and not run out of light. One big advantage of being seen even during the day with your running lights is preventing an accident of oncoming traffic or whatnot, or having someone not run into you from the back because they can see your amber lights through the dust. So here's some overview footage from the drone, starting off with my Razor, and you can see my front lighting options, starting off with the low beam, then the high beam, then the front light bar, then the front light bar amber light. Here's some overview footage of Andrew's RZR, starting off with his low beam headlight kit, high beam, bumper lights, and then his upper light bar. So right before it got completely dark, Andrew and I were out spinning some circles, kicking up some dust, just kind of getting an idea of how they worked in the dust as we got close to dark, which is common. A lot of guys will go out riding and all of a sudden you're gonna lose track of daylight. So got to play around and see how the vehicles felt, ripping through some canyons. It was not very windy at all, so the dust was just lingering and was definitely hard to see out of. I definitely like the dual control on my light bar of just having the amber, and after spending a few days with this light bar, a few night rides, I would highly encourage that everybody have some type of amber light that they can use just for that scenario. I think it's really beneficial for a lot of us in the Southwest that are going to be riding in dust 90% of the time. So we moved on out to Whoop Road, which is a pretty high speed whooped out trail. We're getting in speeds of upper 60s. I think we got almost to 70, 72 miles an hour. So road's pretty whooped out. You definitely got to pay attention, but you can also haul the mail, and even letting the dust clear a little bit and getting a high speed run on this trail a couple times. Like, it's cool to see how the lights worked. I think both of us really thought that we didn't run out of light. I felt comfortable going that speed, and it wasn't the light that was holding me back. It was really my lack of driving ability or willingness to go that much harder. So as a whole, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not gonna go too much faster than 70 miles an hour at night, and felt good knowing that I had plenty of light where I didn't outrun it, or if I encountered some dust, I'd have some good visibility with my ambers. Here's a cool GoPro clip of Andrew ripping through a pretty fast and slippery trail. I really can't call this trail a wash, but it's a grooved line that's pretty fast, and you can definitely make a mistake as you're going fast. There's big rain ruts that kind of randomly come up, or you're just sliding around and getting a little more sideways than you anticipated, trying to stay into those grooved corners. As you can see, his lights are really bright, throwing out a big far beam, so the lights are further out than he's going speed-wise, and you can see we've got the speed here on the GoPro. He's moving pretty good, and like you guys know, if you're out in the desert a bunch, you know, there could have been a big storm, there could have been a trail that you ride all the time that all of a sudden's got a big G out, or a rut from the rain, or a change in conditions. So nice to have all that visibility, knowing that you're not going to run into any issues, or you can see them and slow down and prevent a crash or damaging your vehicle. After a little bit of that, we got into a really fun, tight, twisty wash. I love this type of riding. It's like single track on my dirt bike, but it was kind of a groove trail. It was soft, but once you get going pretty fast, there's a couple gotchas where you had to really slow down and thread the needle. We shot some drone clips above us, and you can see here, you want to go through it as fast as you can. You can get up to about 30 to 40 miles an hour, but then you've got to really slow down. There's a big rock we had to get over, a big rock slab, and just a really tight wash, which was not much wider than our vehicle. So the lighting worked really well. It's nice when you do have the walls of a wash like that to kind of reflect some light. And after following Andrew a little bit after the dust hadn't really cleared, I thought the ambers kept everything bright enough where I could really see and focus on those grooves and make sure those soft grooves kept us in place, or if I was going too fast and blew one out, that I could slow down or correct in time, so I wasn't going to basically crash into one of those walls in the wash. So we hope you guys liked that footage. We really want to put together a video and show you what our lights look like. Two different types of setups, give you some type of things to think about. As I explained before, you know, I had some space constraints with my trailer, not wanting some bumper lights. I wanted to have some blinker lights that I live in Arizona. Andrew pretty much wanted the brightest setup that he could get, and have all different types of lighting options, no matter what he's doing, if he's leading or if he's following. And gives you something to think about. No matter what type of side-by-side you own, you're definitely going to want to add more lighting than what comes stock. It makes it for a lot more enjoyable. You know, even if you're not really into night riding, you never know when you're out on a long day ride and you just run out of daylight, you're having a good time, you get lost, who knows. So again, you're buying a peace of mind, you're buying comfort, you're buying a much more enjoyable experience. It Kind of reminds me of the first time I upgraded to radios and I could talk with my group, and it made the ride a lot much more safe, enjoyable. You can talk with your co-rider. Same type of feeling here. You just feel comfortable knowing no matter what, you've got some good lighting, and I can't thank Baja Designs enough. They really hooked us up on a lot of these lights, and the lights are amazing. Definitely the best that I've used so far. I'd recommend definitely starting off with a couple Squadron XL80s and then buying some amber dust covers, whether you run 2 on a bumper, and really being able to tell the covers pop off on and off really easily. You can rebuild them with amber lenses if you really like an amber setup, and it's got a nice transition. I think almost everybody here in the Southwest should have some type of amber option in addition to their white lights. I really like it. You know, you're able to be seen, you stick out even during the day. They work really well, and highly recommend Baja Designs. We posted links in the description below to all the products that we have on both of our vehicles, so you can get an idea of pricing, sizing, if they'll fit on your custom cage or whatnot. And any other information, any other questions, go ahead and comment below. You can email us, let us know what you think of this video. Thanks for watching. We got a lot more content coming your way.